Welcome everybody to The Last of Us Season 2, Episode 1 spoiler review and recap with myself, Terrell, and Stevie. We are back to talk about more Last of Us. You probably watched our our review on the episode where we couldn't say nothing. We were tight, but now we're back and we can freely speak about the episode that you just watched, which I'm assuming you watched because you made it all the way here to watch this review and recap spoilers. So let's start off by saying, before we get into it, how did you feel about that episode?
You know what? I thought it was good. I did. I do think that it was slow in a sense. Not that the pacing was slow. Like, I thought the episode was runtime was a little bit fast, but like it's slow in the sense of like we said it in our review, like you're building up like this town and things like that and just getting to know everybody, which I liked. So yeah. So it's slow in that sense. Like nothing crazy happens in this episode.
I'm assuming if you guys are watching this, obviously you've played The Last of Us 2.
Yeah.
This game has been an infinite controversy. This game and the show has been an infinite controversy since it came out. If you are one of the few percentage of people like myself that actually played that game to the end, and you know what's going on, this is where we're at. I mean, I think coming back into this, like I already have like a map in my head, like, oh man, they're gonna do this. So I already have certain level of expectations, kind of like I had in the first season, but I let things kind of go. Like what was the one character, Bill, when they changed his entire thing, I was like, oh, okay.
I like that episode.
Yeah, it was a great episode. Yeah. Played by Nick Offerman.
Yeah,
great episode.
So sad. That made me cry.
But that had an opportunity to give that character a little bit more depth that wasn't there in the game. And we see him as just kind of like a walk by. You get what you get from him when you move on, but you don't get any insight as to who that character is within the few minutes of you meeting him. Did he die in the game?
Yeah,
we don't know.
Yeah.
They definitely still have contact with him in the second game. I'm pretty sure. Yeah, I'm pretty sure because they mentioned them, and I'm pretty sure they still had contact within the second game. But I do remember them. Like that was like the major difference in that this particular show is that they wound up killing him off and the way they killed him off. But yeah, this episode. Remember. I know. Yeah. This episode brings us right back. Like I said, giving us a recap right where we left off with Ellie and Joel. She point blank asked them, "Hey, you telling me everything? You good?"
She knows.
She can sense it. Yeah, a mile away.
Yeah, I think so.
It's never said, but as you see throughout this episode, like it's sitting on both of them. Like it's sitting on both of them real heavy to the point where it sucks.
It's so interesting because in that last scene, it's like, okay, I feel like she knows. Like, I don't think she knows like the truth, like that where it ends off at the end of season 1. But I feel like she knows that he's lying about something, and she's just like, all right, I'm gonna accept this. Like, I'm gonna accept that he's telling me the truth because he's like the only one that's like ride or die for me right now at this moment. Right. So but she just knows something is up, and oh gosh, okay, because like I'll wait until we get to the end of it. Yeah. I'll save my thought.
So right off the start of the episode, we get introduced to Abby and the crew. We get to see kind of like right after the whole event with the Fireflies, they already know who Joel is. They just don't know where the heck he is. Which is crazy because it's like, in this world where like technology is pretty much gone, it's all word of mouth and everybody's like scattered, which seems that's like the one thing I kind of got to let go. But I don't know. I guess it's also been like a 5-year time gap. And then I'm sorry, and Abby is played by Caitlin Dever. I'm sure everybody knows her. She was just recently in what's that movie, Booksmart.
Mhm.
She's in Justified, and then she's playing Abby, who we see in the game is a kind of bigger woman, almost like a tank of a character. And in the game, crack a walnut with her arms. the
Yeah,
but
she
before we
is.
before we get into the more of the episode, what did you think about just? I know we talked about it before, but what did you just kind of think about Abby and the size difference in between those two characters? Did you care about how they changed that at all?
No, I see stuff like that really doesn't bother me. Like, in a sense. Like I just like the fact that like if the actor looks like the person, it
Mm.
really doesn't bother me because you could say that about Ellie too. Like Bella Ramsey, I think, plays Ellie,
I
right?
feel like
Yeah.
Ellie's a little taller than her.
Like she doesn't look like her, and everyone
No,
seems to be cool with that, from what I know, but
no, it was a lot of feedback on that. Yeah,
really?
it's like yeah, you gotta ignore it. But I mean, I feel like the actress is killing it though. I feel like the actress playing the part to kind of
Hmm.
define what you're saying. If you can hit those characteristics without, I don't think the character. I mean, again, like I said earlier, I feel like it depends on what that character's skill set is to
Yeah.
kind of match what the build is. Like I'm not expecting like a 400-pound dude to be able to do jump like a ninja and scale walls like stuff like that. But at the same time, like we've seen Beverly Hills Ninja with Chris Farley, and we
Hmm.
gotta let that slide. So it's one of those things where I think, like you said, like we in this world of like even race bending, like Pedro Pascal is clearly not a white man, and we
Yeah,
let that go for
clearly.
Joel. Um,
Hmm.
but yeah, like you said, it kind of doesn't matter like when it comes to that. But as long as you're hitting everything else, like the personality and the motives of that character, and they're doing it, they're still pretty well. I still do think that the character needs to show a certain level of skill and aggression to be
Yeah.
able to make me think that they're capable of taking that down, which we
Hmm.
see in that episode, especially with the scene with Ellie,
Hmm.
which she's in the barn. Yeah,
Yeah.
so but yeah, we got track there for a second. We see Abby, and pretty much right off the break, she plots to get back at Joel. As we
Hmm.
as we know from the last game, and for the people that played this, Joel took something that was real dear to her, and
Yeah.
she wants revenge by any means possible. If you don't know The Last of Us 2 is just hurt just not stopping, you know what I mean? Hurt just revenge, like at all cost,
Yep.
regardless of like who it affects. And it's a tough game. I ain't gonna lie to you, like it's a tough game, and this I just know they're gonna do a really good job of getting through that story.
Yeah. Hmm.
Jumping into the I just talked about with the scene with Abby training in the barn. Getting this is introduction of also seeing Bella Ramsey. How
Hmm.
you thinking about that? Did she 5 years later? Did she seem like she was a little older to you, a little stronger, a little faster? Like they gave her some tattoos.
Yeah, I mean, she does seem a little bit stronger. She doesn't look older, but I feel like that, you can't really help that. So, you just gotta work what you gotta work with right now at this point.
I mean, it depends on when they started filming.
True.
Like years, yeah.
Like she just always looks young to me. This actress. Like she doesn't look any different like from Game of Thrones. She has a baby face.
That's what I was gonna
That's
say.
fine.
Yeah,
She got a baby face. She got a baby face. So you know what?
she was young
That's
when that
fine.
came out. Yeah.
Yeah, she still looks like she still has the same exact face. Like
She needs a little bit more wear on it. That's what she feel like like she's born like I mean because she is like a kid born into this world where they
Mhm.
haven't really gone that they don't have that same look as most of the adults that were there
Yeah.
prior to that. So I think that has a lot to do with that as well.
Yeah.
Why she doesn't have that like either oh man this has been you see
Yeah.
a little bit more of it but yeah like oh man life sucks, you know what I mean, like she's
Yeah,
living
because she's been in this town for so
right.
long. She's been living in this town for 5 years and everything is nice and she's doing whatever in this town, living in her garage. Like playing
Yeah,
guitar.
only lasts for so long.
Hmm.
But we also see like Abby, um,
Ellie.
Ellie. I don't know why I said that. Yeah, Ellie. Ellie, you know, like I said, during the training scene, telling them not to hold back on the punches. She wants everything.
Hmm.
She wants to be able to handle it the same as everybody. Want to be treated equal. And then of course, everybody's scared of Joel. So a lot of this stuff is like kind of fixed to hurt her, and she pretty much storms off saying, don't do that anymore, because again, she wants to be on equal footing with these people. Do you feel like that made her look a little bit stronger by doing that? Like
Yeah,
you
I do, and I feel like she's trying to separate herself from Joel. Maybe
right, right.
trying to be her own person, but then it also makes me wonder like what she knows at this point in time. Joel. So yeah. So yeah, no, I definitely not to get sidetracked into something else. We'll get to it later. My thoughts on that. But
I'm trying to remember, like, and obviously we'll get to it at some point, but like within the show, did Joel tell her or not? And I
that's
feel
what
like,
I'm wondering.
yeah,
Like
okay,
that's what I'm wondering, especially when we get to the end. If you know what happens after
right,
from the game, then she knows. But we'll talk about
right.
that.
So like right after we get to Abby scene, I'm sorry, why do I keep saying Abby? Ellie.
You
I
do.
didn't. They got the same syllable. Ellie. Joel and we see Joel and Dina talking about Ellie and kind of like what's been going on. Why is there this tension that everybody can see? And Dina, played by Isabella Merced, I think it's my first time seeing her. Probably she was in Transformers. Oh, she played Dora in Dora the Explorer.
There was a Dora movie?
There was a nigga.
Show?
I'm sorry. It was either like Paramount or what? It was like an exclusive. Oh, did this come on the movie theater? No. It's on Paramount. But yeah, she played Dora the Explorer, and I didn't see that movie, but that's probably why I didn't recognize who the actress was.
I didn't even know it was made.
But again, we get a little bit more of the context of the relationship between Ellie and Joel in this conversation with Dina. What do you think about this conversation, that this pretty serious conversation that they had, Dina and Joel had?
I think it's good. I think it adds, like, again, whatever tension that they have, it definitely adds to it subtly, like subtly, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I definitely think it adds. And then I also think it also shows Dina and Joel's relationship too, which I think was kind of cool to see.
She's like a second daughter to him.
Daughter. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Second daughter.
Because Joel is allowed to get infinite chances at this thing to be able to be recruiting people's daughters for crime. But yeah,
everybody's dad.
I really like this scene throughout the episode, because like you just said, we get to see the context of like their relationship. I think everybody could tell that there is something like that is just there between Ellie and Joel. And at some point, something turned between A and B. So maybe not immediately coming through the door, but something happened, and it just pretty much changed the entire relationship of Ellie and everybody in the town. Because it's awkward as hell.
Oh yeah.
So she wants to know, that's her friend. He asked her, did she know? Which apparently she didn't. So both of them are holding on to this for dear life. You know what I mean? Like, did not want this to air out for whatever reason. We cut to this, like, get an idea of like the surrounding area. We see Joel's brother and Ellie shooting infected out, what we see in every zombie show, them trimming down the horde. But again, another scene of getting more catch up, or getting more context of like what's going on. You hear that Ellie's being a little bit more reckless. She's been pulled off of the runs because she being stupid out here. We don't quite know why.
She's
But
rebelling.
yeah, she's 19. She's 19. But 19-year-old Ellie, both of them have gotten to a point that neither one of them have dealt before, which they talk about later in the episode. What you think about this conversation between her and Joel's brother? I could not think of his name for some reason.
Is it Tommy?
Tommy, Jesus Christ, yes. Yeah, it is. Sorry.
I knew it was something. Yeah, I like this one too because it also shows that, like, even though she's not talking to Joel, like, she is talking to somebody else. That's not like
Yeah.
Dina or her friends. Like, you know what I mean? Like, she's still around the town talking to people. So I do enjoy that. And she kind of like weaseled her way out of
Every time.
out of doing the watch. It was like the watch, right? She was gonna stand guard at first, and then
Yeah. She's talking about how boring it was because she was
yeah,
just like sitting there. Yeah.
yeah. So I think that was cool too. It's cool to see that dynamic that she was able to talk him out of doing that because he was also doing it because Joel is scared of her to go out there because he doesn't want to lose her again. So yeah, no, I thought it was good.
Speaking of Tommy, a character that really didn't get used as much in season one.
Yeah.
And how do I say this? But season one almost kind of feels like an anthology thing where like we're getting the show from different perspectives. Like if I really remember, I feel like, man, how much time did we really spend with Ellie and Joel throughout the 9 episodes? Because I feel like there was a couple episodes where like, okay, they were there, and then like we just get other group or this particular person. Like, again, man, it's been a while since I watched that episode. I feel like I need to go back now. And then I'm reviewing
Same, because I don't remember either. Because I know like we got the one episode that absolutely they were not in it at all, which was the one with Bill. And then was there another one? There could have been another one.
I'm going to go back and watch that for sure.
Yeah,
I definitely remember that. I definitely remember at some point them being not there that much because there's also that one episode where Joel is like out incapacitated and she has to go help him.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, so, I remember that.
Okay, so maybe I'm losing my mind here.
Yeah.
But, oh yeah, Tommy plays a major character player in The Last of Us 2. Or The Last of Us. It's going to be playing in Last of Us season 2. So I definitely can't wait till we get more of that relationship that builds. We again we get a cut of like the dire situation that's happening within the town. We get a look at this council. Joel is on the building committee. They're trying to get everything, and they can't keep up with the demand of people they're letting in versus how many homes they got to build. Because last I checked, you're not about to build no house in in a few weeks.
Yeah.
So yeah, like I said, we get Tommy's wife, and Joel having a conversation. I'm trying to remember her name.
I don't know.
They're having a conversation about what to do, and she explained to him like, look, you was outside those gates at 1.2, like but he's also making a really good point of like, yeah, resources, people cost resources, resources cost people. So you kind of got to make the tough call and close that gate at some point. What did you think about that conversation that they were having, giving you an insight of like what's going on within the town within the last 5 years?
I mean, yeah, I think that what they were both saying is true. Like, I see where she's coming from. Like, we should let people in and help people, but I also see where he's coming from. Like, they don't have enough. If the town's too big and they don't have enough resources, then what are you going to do? Like, you can't feed the people that we have. And we also don't know what's happening in that town too. Like, what do they make babies and stuff like that? Then there's more resources that you have to,
contraceptive people in a zombie apocalypse. I don't get it. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not hating on nobody, but why is the first thing people do? I mean, I get it. Like, you in tough times, but I feel like that'd be number one priority. I'm not carrying no kid, and so unless that kid's already there, I'm not. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's no. How many movies and television shows where like the baby about to get you killed? What was that? What was the one? What the movie with Krasinski and
Oh,
the
Quiet Place?
Quiet Place? The baby crying. They gotta gas the
Yeah.
baby and shit.
Yeah. The Walking Dead too. Weren't there a few pregnant in
Yeah,
there? Yeah.
yo, I'm surprised. I don't know how Judith stayed alive. That is a super team. Like all the black
Mhm.
people on that show died so Judith could live. That's like. There's no reason you should have a baby in a zombie
Mhm.
apocalypse, man.
Yeah,
And look, I
man.
get it. You want some sense of normalcy. You feel like, but it's too risky. But again, if your plan is to live in this and populate the town, then I get it. But oh man, this is too big of a risk.
Yeah, no, it definitely is. And in that scene, were they talking about building a wall? I don't remember. Was
Hmm.
that a
I
thing that
was
they were
thinking
saying?
about like a garden or like almost like an expansion. Again, it was going through a lot in that scene, just kind of
Okay.
breaking it down. So it definitely gotten past me, but I want to say it was a
Okay.
garden, like, and they were talking about a few more houses.
Okay, it was the garden of houses. I don't know why I thought they were talking about a wall. Maybe I was thinking of something at the end. Because I know
Hmm.
we'll get to it. I know there's something that happens in Jackson with like zombies. So I that with the infected. So I was wondering if they were talking about like a wall, but I don't know.
I forgot to mention too in that scene when Dina and Joel are talking, she kind of jokes with him about going to therapy, and then
Yes.
he tells her, "Don't tell anybody."
Hey, therapy's a lot. You know, sometimes
um,
you gotta keep that rough exterior going, you know? You can't be too
yeah,
sensitive now.
and then we actually get a scene of Joel going to therapy, and we see who his therapist is. Gail, played by Catherine O'Hara,
Mhm.
Kevin's mom and everything. Um,
Mhm.
were you surprised to see her in this episode? I think I was. I didn't have no
So
clue that
too. Yeah, I didn't know she was gonna be in the movie. I mean,
she.
in the show. Sorry. Yeah,
I feel like
I
they're
know
gonna
it
do a
did.
movie version of this after this is. They're gonna milk this so hard. It's gonna be a
Maybe, yeah.
movie.
They make movies out of everything, so I wouldn't be surprised.
But yeah, Catherine O'Hara, man. Like I was expecting to see her as a therapist in the show. HBO getting everybody.
Mhm. It's a popular show.
This scene is this pretty. I don't want this scene is pretty intense, and
Mhm.
she Gail, she is like still being professional. First of all, her payment is a bag of weed, which is hilarious. I guess the
Love it.
money doesn't really count for nothing these days. So like, yeah,
No.
like I need resources. Like,
Hey, it
um,
ain't that bad of a gift.
yeah, and we see her. She's already starting the day off with a couple glasses. She's going through a bottle.
Mhm.
Um, man, like I said, this scene, like we we uh we see them go back and forth about pretty much like pulling out the truth. I know you bullshitting me, Joel.
Mhm.
What's going on here? And then we have that whole scene where she admits that she hates Joel for killing her family, killing her
Yeah.
husband specifically, and
Eugene.
yeah,
Yeah.
and
Mm.
and then pretty much gets back in the professional therapist mode and says, "Hey, now it's your turn to tell me like what's the issue here? What is it that you're not telling, or that you holding out of these stories? You can't bullshit your therapist, man. You just can't.
No.
They know. They know.
Yeah.
They know.
They have a way of speaking to you to get stuff out of you, you know?
They get paid very little money to be able to figure this out with their magic powers. So like, what did you think about this entire exchange in Joel in therapy?
Yeah.
Dealing with his crisis with his daughter.
This is an intense scene. Like, I do think it was intense. I There's one thing I know about The Last of Us too. It is a story about revenge, but I could also see it as in the story about forgiveness as well. Um, and I think it's important. Like, I like the fact that she's like, "I forgive you for this.
Right.
You know, I forgive you for that. And um for his side of things, like we know why he's upset. We
Right.
know why he's feeling this way. We know why him and Ellie have this like strained relationship now. And I feel like that he wants to say something, but he's holding it back.
Right.
Yeah, so I thought it was good, and I wonder if we're gonna hear him say what we think we are to Ellie. You know what I mean? I wonder if we're gonna hear that anytime soon. Like find out what it is.
On one hand, I get it from the character's perspective too, where like, why the hell would I tell you? You know what I mean?
Mhm.
Like, we barely know each other. And especially after I did what I did to your husband, which by
Yeah.
the way was completely justified. So she already admitted, like, look, I understand why you did it, but not
Mhm.
how you did it.
Mhm.
It's like,
Was he in
geez,
was he in season 1?
he had to
No.
be.
Yeah.
He
Okay, I'm
had to
trying to
be.
figure out
Yeah.
who it
Because
was. Yeah.
I don't particularly remember Eugene. I feel like I need to go
Yeah.
back and watch that. But like
Mhm.
I definitely remember there being a character. And well, look, I know a lot of people idolize Joel, like he, because you're playing as that character for like 30, 25, 30 hours. You're gonna
Yeah.
have some level of attachment to the character that you're through seeing the game through the lens of like the game. So I get it, but Joel's also not a good guy.
He's not good. Yeah, no, he's absolutely
And it took me a while too because I was shook when the events that happened to Joel happened. I was like, man, they really did that. You know what I mean? I had to put the game down for a second. I called my friend and I was like, man, did you get past that part yet?
Yeah,
Did
no,
you make it?
same.
It was just like,
It's
yeah.
it's definitely shocking. I could
Mm.
definitely say that. It's definitely shocking, but I also like shit happens.
Yeah,
Like, it's not,
and I think that's the whole whatever of this entire game. This story is that obviously somebody has to break the cycle, um, and sometimes it's just the life of the situation. Um,
Mhm.
that's what happened here. But yeah, we see Joel shed that tear, man, because he wants to say
Mhm.
it. He wants to tell her, but I don't know you. Like especially after you
Yeah.
just told me that. Like, oh man, I ain't sharing nothing with you now.
And also like I feel like his secret is way bigger than that, you know? Like he could have potentially saved everybody. Did it.
Everybody made a really selfish decision
Selfish.
that that Ellie agreed to do for the fate of mankind, and you took that from her, which
Yeah.
is obviously what that tension is between there. But I think the fact that I think like she knows, but she doesn't have the verification. Like she knows though, and he must have
She
tell her like
does.
and I'm glad they showed that scene first. Like it's when the show first starts off, you're like, hey, that's tough. And these two actors, Pedro Pascal and oh my god, I forgot her name,
Bella Ramsey?
Emma Ramsey. You could tell the chemistry that they have
Yeah,
already between each other. Like, oh man, this they you feeling that? Like, you know what I mean? Like, and I'm glad that they had so much build up for
same.
us to understand, like, why they're feeling what they're feeling. I love when a show actually has the time to make characters pop and make you actually give a shit if something happens to them or not.
Mhm.
When it's not rushed and it's done right. You don't expect that from HBO though, you know what I mean? So, or I mean, like you don't expect like bad stuff, like bad shows from HBO. They're usually really good at like long form character building. I can't really name one bad show on HBO. Probably name a bad season or something, but not an
Yeah.
overall bad show.
Yeah, no, agree. I can't
Yeah.
either. Yeah. They
Um.
definitely take their time.
Sorry, we got off the rail for a second. We were on the rail, but we went somewhere else. But yeah, we see Dina and Abby on patrol. Um, Jesus Christ, we get the whole speech of them. Supposed to be listen to the captain. They clearly
They could
do
care
what they
less.
want to do, which is kind of going back into the conversation we just had with I'm about to say Joel's brother. What's his name?
Tommy?
Tommy. Yes,
Yeah.
Green Power Ranger. Think of that, Terrell. Tommy. Goes back to that conversation we had with Tommy about her being reckless, start doing things, which is the reason why she wasn't going to be added on there anyway. But out of whatever for Joel, and they probably just kind of let her do what they want to do, what she wants to
Yeah.
do. And instantly they go in ahead of the patrol. They're not supposed to go but so far. They're supposed to call it in. I don't know why Captain even let them go. She should have pulled rank. That was stupid. Of course,
Yeah.
you're pretty much. I don't know if people were scared of Ellie or they just were scared of they're scared of Joel.
They're scared of Joel.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They probably would have grabbed it back, like, no, like we gotta go back, like, you know what I mean? This already looks stupid.
Mm-hmm.
But we get Dina and Ellie kind of exploring ahead, go inside of a building, and everybody meets back up. They give them an extra few minutes. They go in. Of course, Ellie falls through the floor as they're looking for the different infected, which they kill one.
Yeah.
And which I really did like the stealth of that kill. That was another moment that I like too. That they show kind of the mechanics a little bit of like how the games work, throwing bottles and stabbing, the effect.
I was gonna say that. I really like that too, where it's like really showing what like the game. Like that's I like little things like that. They did that in the first one too, a bit
Yeah.
too, where they like the first person view at the beginning when everything's going down. So definitely like that. And they did the little crouch walk, like
Right.
you do in the game, which was fun.
I'm just glad that in this show the shivs just don't break every time you use them.
Yeah.
Had to make a new knife. Like, come on, man, why?
Exactly.
I'm stabbing Superman. It's ridiculous. Like, breaking knobs. But yeah, we see the fall to the building. They kill one infected, and then Ellie falls through the floor. And then we're introduced to a new type of infected that they have not seen before, who was able to kind of outsmart them a little bit. Still has their faculties a little bit to be able to plan out an attack.
That's crazy.
And of course, Ellie is being as confident as she is. I don't think anybody knows her secret either. I think there's like probably 2-3 people that know.
Yeah,
or maybe
I think
4. I'm pretty sure Tommy's wife knows.
Maybe. I know that Tommy definitely knows.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah, yeah, she yelled it out like when she was with him. Yeah. So yeah, he definitely knows.
That.
He's like, don't announce that, please.
But yeah, we see her get outsmarted by the zombie. I'm sorry, the infected zombie. Same thing. You know what I'm talking about. She gets this
I
new
hate
type
the look of the effectives too.
Yeah. They did a really good job when they showed this new clicker up close. I thought the makeup was really well. The shot with the light hit her face, that looked incredible. They did a really good job on this prosthetic makeup. Probably a little bit of digital effect too, because some of the stuff is moving, obviously. What did you think about this particular scene here, like between Ellie and this new clicker infected person?
Yeah, I liked it because that's something that you do miss in when you play a game. It's like I like the little background stuff that you see. Like I like seeing like the thing like crawl around behind him as she is, walking around and stuff like that. Like I like that. And and I do hate like how these zombies look. I find these zombies a lot more infected, a lot more uncomfortable than like normal zombies. Like that whole like fungus look really bothers me. like it bothers me so much. Can we pause?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm definitely feeling you on that. The look of fungi it's a little bit disturbing to me. I me personally, I also it's very little things that I fear. I feel like it's all the stupid stuff, like whatever that fear of like small holes. I don't like at
Yeah, me
all. Like
too.
I don't know if that's like everybody thing, but I
It
punch
looks
you in the face.
uncomfortable.
Yeah, if you bring that towards me, I'm fighting you. Like, you know what I mean? I feel like that's like my feet tickling thing. Like, you know what I mean? Like people don't like to be tickled. Like I'm hitting you for sure. But yeah, the look of the growing fungus on this new clicker infected, they did a good job. I mean, they definitely. I mean, for that to be the introduction of the first episode of what
Mhm.
these are looking like, they did a good job. I feel like
Yeah.
we've seen every possible Walking Dead zombie, and they threw a couple super zombies in there every now and then. If you watch any of the spinoffs, but we're gonna
Mhm.
get variations of the clickers in here. I'm sorry, the infected here too, because like in the first one we have bloaters, like the big ones that exploded. We had like the regular ones. We had the clickers that actually like they made the clicking. Obviously, they made the clicking noise, and they bite you, and they like click.
Yeah.
So we get different variations. Like I said, we get a new one, and then Ellie, of course, introduces this to them and lets them know that they're getting we're getting new smart zombies, apparently smart infected. But in the meantime of that, she takes a bite,
Yeah.
uh, and instantly has to cover that up. And you see like and during the bite a little bit, you see like a little bit of like the fungus on the bite or whatever.
Yeah. Yeah,
So
no.
we still don't know. We still don't know. We still don't know if that cure would have worked either. You know what I mean? Like, so I guess you could think about that too. With Connor
Yeah,
Jones, like it's a big risk. Like we
it is.
sacrifice her entire life. She's like, nah, we need the whole thing. We need every part of her. So like in order to make this
Yeah.
work. So,
Yeah. Mm-mm.
but
Mm-mm.
yeah, Ellie being stupid. Uh, Completely misses the shot. The infected like outsmarts her, gets on top of her, like I said, bites her, and then she winds up getting her gun out and shooting them. I could have sworn you had to shoot them in like a very specific spot in order to kill them, and maybe it was like a headshot because I thought like body shots they were. Maybe I was wrong.
Maybe it was just the bloaters that you couldn't
Okay,
shoot their body. That you had to shoot them because they're so thick.
yeah. I don't know
Maybe
why. I mean, I'm just thinking Resident Evil zombies. I don't know. Like
that
they
too.
all got different rules. But I don't know why I thought with this particular brand of infected people, like you had to go for headshots or like when they stab them, they always like hit them in the neck or
The
whatever. Like
neck.
so,
Yeah. Well, I feel
so
like that's a
I,
game thing. Like I feel like they always be stabbing them in the neck in the game. Like I thought
that's
that's
like
what
the
that was
only
from.
part that I think that was actually like stabbable or whatever
Yeah.
they were by.
Especially the
Um,
clickers.
yeah.
I think they're
So
all like encrusted with that shit.
yeah. So Ellie and Dina get back and pretty much lie their asses off because they're in front of the council. Well, Ellie's telling the truth, but Dina's fronting her story because she knows it's the truth. Like she believes her
Mhm.
without question, which is something that I paid attention to because definitely shows the level of relationship they have. Like she's willing to throw herself
Lie.
out there, yeah, to make sure that she didn't see it, but she wanted them to know, like, no, she's telling the truth, like back pretty much backing up Ellie's story,
Mhm.
which I really really like. It shows even more of like what their relationships is as friends, but before we get to that,
Friends.
we I know, right? It's pretty obvious throughout the entire episode. But like I said, they pretty much make the decision that they want to hurry up and get to the New Year's party. And then we get to the infamous scene that we get in the barn.
Yeah.
The scene that made a lot of racist people come out, a lot of prejudiced people come out, a lot of just people
Bruh.
that probably don't need to be around. Just
Uh,
um,
no.
this is framed so well. I remember
It's
I remember
perfect.
when they were first showing The Last of Us 2, and it was like doing a PlayStation, like one of the PlayStation showcase events where they had it like in an actual barn, and they were
Oh,
showing like a
nice.
piece of the game. And it's kind of just took me back to that moment where I feel like they got it really good, really well done. Um, the we obviously get more of the relationship here between Dina and her. We find out who her ex boyfriend is.
Yeah.
Consecutively keeps breaking up with is. But obviously we get more of the relationship between Dina and Ellie. What did you think about this and this entire scene as a whole? Like, and do you feel like they hit it on the mark with how they did it?
Oh yeah, absolutely. It was frame by frame, I feel like, how the scene played out in the game. I even because I had to be reminded of it because like even I went back after we watched it and I was like,
Mm,
is it the same? And it was the same. It was exactly how it played out, even with the guy coming up to them and stuff like that and shoving and stuff like that. I feel like the dialogue between Joel and Ellie was a little bit longer
mm.
in the game, but otherwise that it was the same. It was perfect. Thought it was really good.
Yeah, I definitely want to. I definitely want to agree with you on the Ellie and Joel thing. 'Cause I feel like it was a little bit more comfortable because it sat for a minute, and I feel like
Yeah.
it was just kind of like one word and he left. Like they didn't kind of dwell on that any longer than they need to. Because even
Hmm.
the scene where like when she comes back up to the house and he looks at her and they just kind of keep it moving. That was I feel like they didn't reveal that to like later in the game.
Yeah,
I could
that
be
that was at the end.
okay.
It was at
Thought
the
I
end
was
of the game.
okay. Thought I lost my mind there for a second.
No.
Okay.
No, because I had to
um,
I had to look it up because I was like, it happens now? Like what? Did they rearrange it like
I definitely
chronologically?
want to go back and play these games. Like I feel like they've remastered them like 35 times because I
Yeah.
think the Last of Us 2 had like a PS5 remaster that just recently came out. Not recently, but a few years ago. Where if you already owned it, then it was like a $10 upgrade. But I definitely want to go back and play it.
Same.
But yeah, we get the scene. You know, I'm gonna. It's like an iconic scene because it, you know,
Very
it's
iconic.
really important to the story. But the scene between Dina and like you said, Ellie kissing on the floor. You know, you tell this is the first time she's actually had. Well, that's not. I'm not. That's not true because we definitely get her, her other friend that she liked in the first season that winds up getting killed, which is how she finds out that she is immune to
Yeah.
the infection. And they also did that as DLC as a part of the game. Um,
Yes.
but yeah, that was over 5+ years ago. Since she's had any other relationship or been able to get that close to somebody. So I think this scene is
Yeah.
really important. Even though you get some haters, this is a church.
Yes. Like, come on. It's the apocalypse. Who cares?
Nobody cares, man. It's already over. Um, No, man, like they did a really good job on this scene.
Yeah.
And
Agreed.
I remember when this first came out, like of course, like I said, people were hating, but even in the game, like I said, it serves its purpose really well of like really showing like Dina and Ellie's relationship and the
Hmm.
love she has for her, not only as a friend, but beyond that, and what she's willing to do for her. But sometimes you're not willing to give up certain things, not even for love. Is Last of Us 2 has shown us through the game. Like,
Yeah.
why can't you let it go? I can't. It's like, man, you got to keep playing. It's like, as the player, you're like, I kind of want to see where this goes. It just keeps getting worse and worse
Yeah.
and worse. I'm like, oh, this is tough to play. Like, this sucks.
Yeah, man.
Uh,
It really is. Oh.
but it pretty much just shows that everybody's got a family, man. Somebody's gonna be out
Hmm.
there. Um, somebody wants revenge for something. So for everybody you take out in this world, like somebody somehow magically they're gonna find out and come back and get you. Um,
Exactly.
but overall, like I said, we end the episode there with like Ellie and Joel kind of crossing paths with each other, and then we see Abby and her crew on the top of the hill as they swoop in and yeah,
Gosh.
they swoop
Yeah.
in. I really hope that they're I really hope that they go in on it, but at the same time, like don't do too much. Like, I feel like I lived that once. I
Ooh.
don't need to see it again. But
I wonder because that's the thing I wanted to talk about earlier, because I know, like, after the barn scene and stuff like that, and their talk on the porch, I think that happens like right before, right? That takes place before it happens.
We're talking about Abby and them coming into.
No, we're so like at the end where they do the barn scene and whatever,
Mhm.
in the game,
Okay.
um, and Ellie talks to Joel on the porch when he's on the guitar, when he's playing the
Mhm.
guitar. Does that happen before
It, it,
he's
it, it, de- it definitely happened before. I think
okay?
it definitely happened before because that kind of, I think had that not have happened, she wouldn't have not have pressed so hard.
Mm-hmm.
Had it left on her still being mad at him, she probably would have let it go. But it was something in particular that he said to her, or
Yeah,
whatever during the apology, that kind of made her hit a 360 on why she had to do what she did.
yeah,
Um, but but of course, him doing that also made that secret or that thing now her thing, which kind of put that on her too, because now it's like he gave you this opportunity. I don't want to go too deep, too deep into it, but yeah,
yeah. I got you. Cause
but yeah, it's a lot. It's a lot there. But yeah, like I said, overall, having them set up Abby at the end of the episode going into the next, I think that's a really, really good touch. Because
yeah,
I do remember, like, the game kind of leave. Dad, do you play as them? I think.
you do,
Yeah. Oh my Jesus Christ. Yes.
you
That that
do.
that. Okay. Yeah. That was what made that worse because you had to
Yeah,
do it. Okay.
that's why I hope that they fix pacing,
Yeah.
because I think, and this is something I had talked about in The Last of Us 2 before, but I really think it would have been cool if you played as them first, get to know them as characters, and then when
Mhm.
that stuff does happen, you kind of like have like a different, you may feel bad when
Right.
Ellie,
And I think you
goes.
do because you spend more time with Abby and learning her the other side of things, and like, damn, that's
Hmm.
that. I feel like that guy kind of sucks. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah,
man,
but I feel like it's like you already kind of go into the, like, I feel like, and it may not be for every player, but I feel like then you go into the, you already don't like them, you know?
mm,
So maybe, finding that stuff out before, that could have been a really cool
right.
dynamic. And that's probably what I thought of, because I know before the season came out, I know like the writers and stuff like that, they were talking about changing some stuff from the game for this season to the show. So that's what I kind of like had the idea in my head, that maybe they would focus more on Abby and stuff first before any big stuff happened.
I'm really prepared, like I said, to see what curveballs they throw in season 2. Like I said before,
Mhm.
because the first season hit like some of the beats, but it didn't go exactly the way that the game goes. Obviously, it was obviously in terms of pacing and stuff that you do.
Yeah.
Um, we spent a lot more time with those characters in the game. Learning them over a course of time and hours of gameplay, performing certain actions, so you're a little bit more invested. Uh, so like to see what they change in this season,
Mhm.
particularly with the next scene that we know we're gonna get. But yeah, episode 1 I think was really, really good. It's nice hearing that theme song again coming back into the show.
Yeah.
Um,
Yes. Definitely.
Everybody so far is working for me. I don't necessarily have an issue with Abby. I need to see her in action though before I
Yeah.
can declare if I like her or not. I need to see
Agreed.
how she's down. Yeah. But other than that, episode 1, HBO hit it again. Pedro, Bella Ramsey, everybody's back. I
Everybody.
can't wait to be able to watch the rest of the season, see where it goes. Like I said, hopefully we could do more of these. This
Hopefully.
is fun. Yeah, definitely fun chat.
Yeah.
Was there anything else that I might have missed or I didn't talk about that you want to get into with the episode?
What do you think it's gonna happen? Like, what episode do you think
The
is gonna happen? We won't
I mean,
say it, but
probably right off the bat. Like as soon
You think
as
so?
I mean, we're going to like waste they're going to do another episode to build it up in three into three it's episode 3.
I don't know. I don't
Yeah.
know. Like people, I don't know. I'm just wondering if they're gonna save it. I don't know. I don't know.
No, I feel
But
like rip the band-aid off because people know. Like if you played the
mhm.
game, like we know. Majority of people that are probably watching this show have played that. I don't gonna say everybody, but played the game. But for those, they're gonna know what's gonna happen.
Yeah. Yeah.
So hopefully, like I said, they just rip the band-aid off, and we just not the first 5 minutes. I do want to see them kind of get to where they're going and stuff like that, the transition.
Same.
But yeah, I definitely want to see where that goes.
Yeah. Yeah. No, otherwise that everything's good and I hope we could do more of these. Enjoy
Yeah.
recapping.
So you guys heard Stevie. Last of Us, season 2, episode 1, HBO Max. You know where you can watch it. This obviously if you guys are here, leave us a comment. Let us know what you thought about the episode as well. I thought it was really good. Like I said before, I thought it was also. I wish they could have put a little bit more into it, but it's only 58 minutes. Take your time. I'm glad we're getting this more of the world building and the character, like getting to know the characters a little bit more, so we can care. That's how you
That's how
flesh
you do
characters.
it.
Yeah, you got to make people care about the characters. So you can't if you kill them, we feel something.
Mm-hmm.
No shots at Batman versus Superman, but you can't have 2 Superman movies and then kill them in the second one. That's all I'm saying. Yeah, that bothered me. But either way, but yeah, leave us a comment. You can follow me on obviously Big Gold Belt, and Around the Geek. And then Stevie, where you at?
You can find me on Instagram on isthatstevie_. I also stream on Twitch at isthatstevie, and I have a YouTube channel now. So Is That Stevie as well.
Oh, I will be subscribing. So
yes, thank you.
No problem. So yeah, we know where at. Leave us a comment, and hopefully we will see you guys for episode 2 with another spoiler review for the next episode. See you guys. I